Let's continue, shall we? And I believe I stepped into the warehouse to find all the other teams already there. There's a branch coming up in the flowchart. So is there another AB vote? Kay and Luna. Phi and Clover. And Dio. Unfortunately. The moment Dio spotted me, he dashed over to the Get Rightmost AB room and slid his card through the reader. What a shock! What a fucking shock, you little shithead. Here we go again.
An ambidex gate has been opened.
Why, Dio?
45 minutes remain until ambidex game polling closes.
Why? As he turned to look at me, I swore I saw a flash of a smug grin.
There. Happy? This time I waited for you to get back before I opened. You see, I can be considerate.
But Tenmyoji and Quark aren't here.
Yeah, where are they?
I guess they forgot something back in the room we found. They ran back to grab it real quick.
And they'll be here in a few minutes.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. People have a knack of Dufford dying when they suddenly disappear. While we waited, we exchanged information about the rooms we'd investigated. Unfortunately, none of it seemed very useful. None of us had found anything, and we were no closer to unraveling any of the increasing number of mysteries we were faced with. With that discussion exhausted, we sat down to wait. And wait. Before long, 20 minutes had passed since Dio opened the door, and Tenmyoji and Quark were nowhere in sight. That's
Don't
troubling.
You think they're taking a little long?
That's troubling.
Yes, I'm getting worried. What if something happened to them?
I'm concerned. I'll go have a look.
Then I shall accompany you.
Thank you, Kay. Now I'll be fine by myself. It's not that far away.
Just don't look into the abyss too long, or you might become a monster.
Shut up. I don't think. Okay. Look, I'm just going to the director's office. I'll be right back. No big deal. Not like everyone's gonna up and die all of a sudden. Right. See you guys later. Gave a quick goodbye wave, and stepped out of the warehouse. Fucking Dio. But hey, we get to see this transition again. Oh, no elevator. Okay, why are we taking the long way? God, we really are taking the long way here. God, I hope they aren't dead. Oh, that's exactly how we left it. Exactly how we left it. Exactly how we left it. Huh? That's odd. There's nobody here. Picture's gone, though. Tenmyoji and Quark must have been here then. I laid out the floor B map. Must have taken the door that faces the warehouse. After that, they probably went through the warehouse and out the blue door to the elevator. Yeah, that's a much shorter route. On the other hand, I came through the red door, which is kind of the long way around. Huh, why'd I do that? Looks like we managed to miss each other perfectly. Ugh. Oh, this was a huge waste of time. Shoot. Might as well head back, I suppose. Let's go through the blue door this time. Packed up the map and was headed toward the door when... Huh? There was a light on, where there hadn't been a light before. What? Why's that thing on? We messed with it earlier, but nothing seemed to work. I felt a sudden wave of inexplicable, nauseating dread. The light stared at me. I swallowed and edged cautiously toward it. The machine was in arm's reach now. I stretched my hand out toward it, slowly, slowly. What?
So, you finally made it.
No, Bjorn.
I am Zero.
Hi.
I was the one who brought you here. You undoubtedly have as many questions for me as there are stars in the sky. As you can see, however, This is only a recording. I will therefore be unable to directly answer any questions. Ask if you wish, but I cannot respond.
Ugh. I considered taking a swing at him, but decided that was spectacularly futile, and kept my bald fist at my side.
Now, where to begin? There are many things I wish to tell you, but unfortunately, our time is limited. As such, the information I can provide is also limited. I have chosen 2 things of great importance to tell you.
Okay.
First, I will tell you about termites.
What?
In retrospect, I suppose that's a rather odd thing to say. I imagine you look rather bewildered right now.
Indeed.
Perfectly understandable. The person who kidnapped you and threatened you with death is lecturing you about insects. I suspect it hardly seems fair. Nonetheless,
It is certainly
very
confusing.
important. In a way, it will determine your fate. So I ask that you listen carefully.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a termite mound? They are splendid structures. Some might even call them works of art. Termites are natural architects, and their mounds are both structurally sound and make excellent use of space. So, are they following some sort of plan as they build? Are there termite blueprints detailing which room goes where? No, of course not. Each termite is simply an oblivious cog in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of termite DNA. It is doubtful an individual termite has any idea what its contributions are helping to create. But a human does. We can appreciate the elegant forms of their alien cathedrals. We can see the simple beauty of their perfect functionality. We can understand the splendid planning of their structure. In other words, only an intelligence of a higher order can understand the beauty of what the termite builds.
Okay.
Now, consider humans. Why are we alive? Why do we love and give birth? Why do we create? From where do our cultures spring?
So, are you going to tell us that we're the termites and doing something that we're programmed to do for some higher
There
intelligence?
are many theories, but no one knows the truth. We are oblivious cogs in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of human DNA.
Okay.
No doubt you see now what this analogy is supposed to illustrate. Yes, I mean to say humans are not different from termites.
I mean, I like to think that millions of years of human DNA have Unless you're saying that the cultures that exist now are akin to the grand alien cathedrals of termites. Sure.
We trudge through our lives with no greater understanding of our ultimate goal. You might say we don't understand what we're building. Only an intelligence of a higher order than ours can understand what we're doing. Imagine how we might look to such an intelligence. We may be building some structure so perfect and elegant, we can't even perceive it. Whatever it is, we've likely been building it on a dimension just above the ones we know since time immemorial. If we are like the termites, then what we've created is almost certainly something of tremendous beauty.
Okay.
You are about to catch a glimpse of it.
Oh.
Or have you already? Well, that's enough on that subject, I think. Consider what I've said. Now, let's move on to the second topic. it is somewhat more immediately meaningful to your life, and, in fact, the lives of several billion other people.
Oh, good.
I
Excellent.
realize this is rather sudden, but I have a password for you. It is the password to disarm the bomb, numbered 1.
Bomb?
Are you ready? I will only say this once, so pay close attention. The password to disarm the number 1 bomb is BQZ RGJ DXR.
Oh god, that's awful. EQZ RGJ DXR. Oh, GJ DXR. Okay, I had no idea what he was talking about. What bomb? Was he saying there were bombs, too? If he'd guessed at my future confusion, he showed no sign of it.
That is the last of the information this message was meant to convey.
Grand!
Before I go, however, I have a warning. You cannot tell any of your companions what you heard or saw here. If you do, you will be penalized immediately.
Oh. Okay.
I hope we will meet again someday. We would have much to discuss.
Wait! God damn it, you can't just spout all that crap and disappear? Fucking termites? Found myself yelling at empty air. The hologram had disappeared. What kind of an idiot does he take me for? Termites? Other dimensions? How could that have anything to do with kidnapping us? Shit. I kicked it at a nearby shelf.
10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Oh fuck.
All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Aw, crap. Here we go again. I need to get back. Not like there's any point staying here. I spun around and ran out of the room, toward the warehouse. Is that what Ten Myoji and Quark were doing?
Grandpa, look, Mr. Sigma's back.
Took you long enough.
Well, shit, sorry. What the hell were you guys doing? Where are the others?
In the AB rooms.
They went in already?
Yep.
Why didn't you two? Have you been waiting for me?
Yeah. Grandpa said there was something he had to tell you before we voted, no matter what.
Oh. Oh?
Nothing that significant. Just wanted to tell you we're going to choose ally this round.
Oh.
That's it.
And you had to tell me that no matter what? Seemed kind of pointless. I mean, words are cheap. You can promise whatever you want.
True, but we've got something to back it up. Just
Oh?
hear me out.
Okay. Go ahead.
Quark and I both have 8 BP.
Oh, because no matter what,
We're
we'll get
already
9
on the home
BP.
stretch. So what do we need to get to the magic number? Well, we need you to choose ally. If
Okay.
you do that, it doesn't really matter to us what we pick.
You'd get to 9 whether you got 2 or 3 points.
Exactly. That being the case, we don't have any reason to betray you. And if we both choose ally, we both gain points.
True, but you must have considered that I'll choose Betray. That would mean you'd choose Betray to protect yourselves.
That's why we're telling you we won't choose Betray.
Oh. Can I trust you?
Of course.
Alright, tell me one thing. Let's say we do this and both ally. Everyone gets 2 points. That means you and Quark will have enough to leave, which is great for you. I'll be stuck with a measly 5. How do I know you weren't going to just open the number 9 door and leave us in the lurch?
I can guarantee it.
How?
I can give you my word. I will not open the number 9 door, even if I have enough points to do so. I swear it. We aren't going to abandon everybody else just so we can escape.
I still have my doubts.
Too.
I still have my doubts. Man. So all you've got is a promise,
When I
huh?
make a promise, I keep it. Trust me.
Please! You've got to trust us!
Alright, fine. I'll trust you.
2 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
We're counting on you, Sigma.
You gotta choose ally! You promised!
With that, they turned and ran into the AB room, second from the right. Well, time for me to go. Well, guess I should get moving. Here goes. Final round.
One minute remains until Ambidex game polling closes.
What's it gonna be? I had a decision to make. Should I trust Quark and Ten Myoji? Well, I could believe they were telling the truth and still betray them. That would bring my BP to 6. I'd be that much closer to 9. Choosing betray would guarantee that they wouldn't try and escape without the rest of us. Betrayal seemed like the safe bet. But
Please!
Quark said please. Therefore, we are morally obligated to vote ally.
Gotta trust us!
He said please. He said the magic word like a good little boy.
You've gotta choose ally! You promised!
Ten Myoji I could betray easily enough, but Quark? What the hell was I going to do?
10 seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Well... Maybe this has gotten better, because I haven't had any problems after doing a bit of cleanup on my computer. I haven't had any problems with this, at least. Usually it frees up, at this point, at least once, in an hour and 20 minutes. But hey, maybe we're in a better place. Here's hoping. At any rate, time to advance time forward a day and get some voting results. Hell yeah. Oh shit,
9,
we're almost out of time.
8, 7, 6,
I sure hope we got these poll results.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, it's only been a day, but we've got enough poll results and enough time that I think we have a decisive majority. And yeah, it's a pretty decisive majority that we're gonna ally with Ten Myoji here in round 3. And hope we can trust them. I think I provided more context than I normally did on this poll. So we'll see. Even then, it's not all of the context, because you don't see all of the build-up until you get to this video. You don't see their tone pleading with us. So we don't know 100% if they're trustworthy. I'm curious to know again if your vote would change, seeing the build up to this. But we're gonna ally. As requested.
Round 3 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse.
And if this
Thank you for your participation.
And if this gets us a game over, we're just gonna load back into it
Now opening.
and have another go. Just getting right into it.
Results from round 3 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Everybody's here. Except for Alice. What a shame. Shocking. Ooh. You fuckers! You fuckers! Oh shit, Clover can leave too. Oh my god. You little shits. You little shits.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly.
Maybe Sigma's little speech about "Are you sure you can trust me?"
Please
You
check
little
your bracelet
shitheads.
to see your updated bracelet points.
Hey! What the hell, guys? Why'd you betray
Clark
me?
had nothing to do with this. I made the vote.
Grandpa.
Alright, fine. Why'd you break your promise, Tenmyoji?
I only promised you one thing. We wouldn't open the number 9 door, even if we got 9 points.
What? So, you're not going to leave?
Not what I said. Of course we're going to leave.
What?
Look,
Clover's gonna open the
see
number 9
Clover
door.
over there?
What? Don't tell me. Game over. What?
Oh no.
Jeez.
That bitch!
Wait. Quark and Tenmyoji have...
The words were barely out of her mouth when Tenmyoji and Quark ran past.
No! God damn it!
Clover, are you really going to leave? Well, yeah. Why else would I open the door?
But why?
I'm going to go call the others. So
The
we
others.
can capture Zero Senior.
Tenmyoji, are you and Quark going too?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Sorry, everybody.
So Sigma, happy? I kept my promise. Clover opened the door, not me.
Like hell, I'm happy. That's some shady shit, Tenmyoji.
Say so. I have to get out of here, and that's that. He's got to pay for what he's done.
He?
Zero.
You mean you know who Zero Senior is?
Yeah. No point keeping it a secret now, I suppose. I know exactly who Zero Senior is.
What?
So they had to have seen the hologram, right?
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
Let's go. Come on, guys. Time to move.
Right.
Oh, wait! This is for you, Mr. Sigma.
What? Quark held something out. I looked down to see 2 pieces of folded paper. What is this?
It's a letter. I wrote it in the director's office before the AB game.
So you were
I
planning on
wanted to
doing
tell
this
you
all
what kind
along.
of guy Grandpa is. So, read it, okay?
He pressed it into my hand.
See you later, Mr. Sigma.
I highly doubt that, but okay. He turned and ran toward the door, Tenmyoji and Clover following in his footsteps. I was so surprised by the letter that I didn't even try to stop them. Before I could think of anything to say...
See you.
Goodbye.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked. Escape is not possible.
Grand.
Please enjoy your stay.
Shit! They're gone.
Yeah.
All we can do now is hope they bring help back.
Indeed.
I agree.
I looked down at Quark's letter and slowly unfolded it. His handwriting was still slightly uneven, but he'd filled both pages with writing. I began to read. It was a really stormy day when he found me. He said the rain was coming down so hard it almost hurt, but somehow he managed to hear a baby crying. I guess I must have been crying pretty loud. He took me home and did his best to raise me, but he'd never been married or had a kid before, so I think it was really hard for him. He couldn't figure out how to mix the formula, so he was always carrying the directions around with him. Also, I guess I was a pretty picky eater, so if he didn't get the water to formula ratio just right, I wouldn't eat it. I guess I was kind of a pain, huh? But he didn't give up, and now here I am. When he found me, I was really, really small, and he was worried that I might not make it. That's why he named me Quark. A quark is a really, really small thing, and I was really, really small too. Grandpa didn't need to worry though, because it turned out that was pretty tough. When I was 1, he forgot I was sleeping in the bed of his truck and drove off. I rolled out and went off the back, but I didn't even get scratched. Wow. Tenmyoji. I started walking when I was 2, and when he wasn't looking, I fell down the stairs. Jesus, Ten. I didn't get hurt then either. When I was 3, I got really sick. I had a super high fever for a week, but eventually I got better. Guess you could say I'm pretty lucky. Anyway, I didn't really have any more accidents after that, and I was a pretty healthy kid. By the time I was 6, I'd started helping Grandpa out with his work. His job was to gather junk from abandoned buildings. Then he'd fix it up or pull out the useful parts and sell them. There were plenty of abandoned buildings, but finding good stuff in them was hard. You had to know which parts were useful, or you could end up wasting a bunch of time. Every time I'd find something, he'd explain to me what it was, how it was supposed to work, how to fix it, all sorts of things. Usually, though, I just wanted to finish up work so I could go to the theater. The theater came to our town once a week in a wagon. They'd show old news or movies. I went every single week. Grandpa only went once in a while. He'd only go weeks when they showed movies. Oh yeah, I didn't know that I'd been adopted until I was 7. One of the other kids on my block told me. I guess after Grandpa found me, he looked all over town to try and find somebody who'd take me. The kid from my block actually had a mom, and he'd asked her if she would take me too. Gotta admit, I was pretty shocked when I heard that. There weren't a lot of kids with parents around, so hearing that someone lived with his actual mom was pretty impressive. I was also kind of surprised that Grandpa had tried to get somebody else to take me. Did that mean he didn't want me? The kid who told me about Grandpa trying to get rid of me was a real jerk. He was totally spoiled, and he bragged to everybody about how he had a mom. He'd like to come up to me when I was working and say stuff like, "Must be hard not having a mother." And I'd say, "Must be hard not having a life, jackass." And he'd run home crying. It never bothered me before, but after I found out that Grandpa had adopted me, I started to think that maybe he didn't really want me. If I could work on my own, then he could get rid of me. I was scared to know the truth, so I never asked him. Then one day he took me to a bar in our neighborhood. During the day, of course. We went there sometimes to drink scotch. I'd never gone before. When we got in, he just walked up to the counter with that grumpy look he has, and I thought, oh no, he's gonna make me work here. But I was wrong. I saw him pass something to the bartender. Then he picked me up and set me down on a stool next to the counter. The stool was pretty high, especially for a 7-year-old kid, and my legs just dangled off of it. It seemed really, really high to me, and I was pretty nervous. Eventually, the bartender came back over with a glass of scotch and another big glass full of something else. Is that a root beer float? As I looked closer, I realized that the second glass was full of some sort of brown liquid with a scoop of ice cream in it. It took me a minute to realize what it was. A root beer float. I'd never seen one before. I was so surprised. Root beer was even more expensive than the nicest alcohol in the bar. To me and the other kids, it seemed more like an urban legend than a real drink. But there it was, right in front of me. I stared at the float. I still wasn't sure if it was real at that point. Then turned to look at Grandpa. He looked back at me. I didn't know what to do, so I turned to the bartender. He'd already turned around and moved off, though, so I had figured he must have put the glass down in front of me on purpose. It still didn't seem like it could be real. I was just staring at it when Grandpa told me to hurry up and drink it before the ice cream melted. His gruff voice sounded like an angel's. "Is this really mine?" He nodded. Words can't describe how awesome it was. I'd never tasted anything like root beer before. The creamy sweetness of the ice cream made my entire head feel light. I felt like the luckiest boy in the whole world. That's not an exaggeration. I really thought that. Root beer float was delicious, but what made me even happier was Grandpa. When I looked over at him, he was smiling. I know that's gotta be hard for you to imagine, but he really was. Right then, I didn't care whether he'd just found me and adopted me or not. He bought me a root beer float. That made me way luckier than some kid who had a mother, but had never tasted root beer. Of course, after he left the bar, he was the first kid I bragged to. "Yeah, you have a mom, Jeremy, but have you had root beer?" "You had root beer?" "Yeah." "Yeah." Oh. So Grandpa and I were doing pretty good. Until the fight. I was in a super bad mood that day. I'd torn one of my shoes that morning, and some old drunk guy had yelled at me. All the junk I found was totally useless. The day was almost over, and I was fed up, so I just grabbed some random trash and took it back to the house. Oh, when I showed what I'd found to Grandpa, he frowned. I started going through each thing I'd brought back, explaining why they were all useless. I got really mad and just yelled, "I don't care!" Then he got mad, and I couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. I was pretty upset, and I started thinking that maybe Grandpa had only adopted me so he could raise me to work and make money for him. After a while, I went and hid in an abandoned building. By then, I'd started to calm down and think that maybe I should go back, apologize. But it started raining pretty hard, though, so I decided I should wait for it to stop. That was just an excuse. The truth was that I was nervous. Part of me knew I'd done something wrong, but I didn't want to admit it. The rain didn't stop, though, so I just sat there, staring out at the gloomy gray sky. I imagined Grandpa coming to get me. It kept raining all night, and he never showed up. I gave up waiting and decided it was time to go home. I was about halfway there when I heard somebody groaning. At first I thought I should just ignore it and not get involved, but I went over anyway, and it was Grandpa. He was totally soaked. I could tell right away that he'd been there for a really long time. I yelled, and he opened his eyes a little bit. He smiled weakly and said he was glad I was safe. He'd spent all night out in the rain, looking for me. It felt awful. Grandpa had been out in the rain looking for me so long that he'd collapsed. It was horrible. He'd heard me crying in the rain, but I hadn't heard him. So I ran to get the doctor, promised whatever god might be listening, that if they would only save Grandpa, I'd never ask for another root beer float ever again. He had a real bad fever, and his temperature wouldn't go down for days. The doctor said that if it kept up, he'd die. If he died, then I'd be all alone. There wouldn't be anybody left to care about me. The thought of that happening terrified me. Fortunately, I must have passed some of my luck on to Grandpa, because a week later his fever finally broke. I was glad he wasn't going to die, but I was also a little scared. What if he had decided he didn't want a stupid kid like me around anymore? My plan was to apologize as soon as he woke up. When the moment came, my brain just stopped. Grandpa started to talk. It took me a minute to realize he was apologizing. I didn't know what to think. He explained that he was an old man, and that meant he was probably going to die sooner rather than later. He was strict with me because he wanted to make sure I'd be able to make it on my own after he was gone. But maybe he'd just been a little too strict. All the things that I'd worried about had been stupid and selfish. Grandpa cared about me a whole lot. He'd been worried when I ran off, and he'd gone out into the rain to look for me. I tried to apologize, but when I opened my mouth, I just started crying. I don't think I've cried that much since I was a baby. But he just smiled and patted my head. I asked him if he'd ever regretted adopting me. His eyes got all wide and he said, "Of course not! Of course not." He told me that he was looking for a really important lady. Because of that, he'd had to give up on pretty much everything else in his life. When he took me in and started raising me, it felt like he'd gotten some of what he'd lost back. That's when I decided I'd stay with him forever. Even if he said I couldn't. And that's it. Yeah, I guess that is it. Announcer, Mars Mission Operator, 03, 0 Senior, who did get a voice, Localization Staff, Axis, Quark. I feel like this was a pitiful... I feel like, did we really gain anything from our relationship with Tenmyoji and Quark? Or was this just an excessively long con from the beginning to get out? Betrayed us round 1. Allied with us round 2. And then once again with the verbal gymnastics to justify betraying us in round 3. I mean, was that really necessary? Was that really necessary? Feels like he could have just gotten away with, okay, we allied, and then pull the, I promised to not open the number 9 door, but hey, Clover's doing it, so I guess I'll leave too. To to go fuck up Zero Senior. It's nice to get that backstory that we already kind of had a feeling of. Oh, Tenmyoji in Root Beer Veritas. That's the achievement we got. In Root Beer there is truth. Well, hell. Hey there, Tenmyoji. So, now what? What have we gained from this? Yeah, bomb number 1 deactivation code. That's what we've gained. What do we gain from betraying Tenmyoji? Is that a game over? I feel like, now that we've gotten our first ending, I might just do a re-poll of the remaining yellow route options, which are Betray Tenmyoji, Betray Tenmyoji, Betray Tenmyoji, Ally with Dio, which I feel like will unlock a different route. It will certainly unlock something. What do we have to take away from this? Quark game over. Why is that labeled Quark game over? Does this path lead us to a Quark ending? I wonder. I am curious. But we shall see where that leads us. I feel like this is a serious... I feel like this neck of the woods is a serious annihilation path. This neck of the woods might lead us to the true path, because we're getting ourselves through things without people dying. Saved Alice. Stopping 5 from leaving. Antiviral medication. Which we can break this now. So, right now, I think the next vote is going to be Betray Tenmyoji, Betray Tenmyoji, Betray Tenmyoji, Ally with Dio, or fifth option, pick up a different branch. As far as Tenmyoji's actual ending, I feel like it still leaves a lot to be. It wasn't exactly satisfying. It wasn't exactly satisfying. It did give us a little insight into their life together. Into Tenmyoji, I suppose. The big thing we got from doing the room with Tenmyoji and Quark was, hey, the picture. Oh shit, it's Akane. So, they could only really mean one thing about who Tenmyoji really is, right? Right? I'm not going to say it, just in case the game decides to say it blatantly later on. But you know what I'm talking about here. You know what I'm talking about here. And yeah, if one of these options wins, one of these three wins, we'll just sort of go through it and then do the next highest voted option, in case one of these two are quick game overs. We'll do them. This seems like it'll be a more extensive branch. And this seems like, well, this seems like it's going to take us to another, oh fuck, another AB vote. But yeah, this seems like it'll take us to another AB vote, which I might re-pull. I think I actually pulled it back in the day. Back when we first got here. Now that we can break that lock. Yeah, I think those will be the 1, 2, 3, 4. Those will be the 5 choices in the next poll. Betray Tenmyoji round 1, Betray Tenmyoji round 2, Betray Tenmyoji round 3, Ally with Dio round 2, or break lock number 4. Although I feel like if I include this, maybe I'll phrase it, leave the yellow branch behind. And then, if that option wins, I'll just post another poll and include this as an option. I want to clean up the yellow branch for now. Branch seems like a real disaster branch where lots of people die. Cyan branch seems like the road that leads to the final truth. So, don't know. We'll see. Until next time, until then.